Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, from Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the NXT Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling happenings from the WWE Superstars of tomorrow, Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 2655 of the show. It is November the 4th, 2025, 10:11 p.m., which is 11 minutes ago. We just finished watching NXT. And NXT, as you know, 2 weeks from today is Gold Rush. And next week, there'll be 2 title matches on display. Next week, the men's speed title will be on the line as El Grande Americano, who was in action this week, a little bit more on that, will defend the title against Jasper Troy. And next week, also the last man standing matchup, Ricky Saints, for the NXT Championship, will defend that title against Trick Williams, former TNA World Champ and former NXT Champ as well. So Trick Williams trying to go for a three-peat. Will he do it? Well, who knows for sure. But let's talk about what happened. NXT kicked it off with a 6-woman tag team matchup as the Cullings, Izzy Dame, and the new NXT Women's Champion, Tatum Paxley, team up with Lola Vice against Fatal Influence, former champ JC Jane, former Women's North American champ Fallon Henley, and the newest member of the Fatal Influence, replacing Jasmine Nix, the recently departed Jasmine Nix, is Lainey Reed. And Fatal Influence took advantage of the lack of chemistry between Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, and Lola Vice. Tatum Paxley and Lola Vice had that chemistry, but it was Dame not connecting with Lola Vice, and Fatal Influence ends up winning that matchup. And meanwhile, El Grande Americano, Los Americanos confront the NXT locker room, and Josh Briggs, who was not in a good mood, he has some few choice words for El Grande Americano and challenged him to a matchup, and El Grande Americano goes, no problem. Guys, this one's mine. So, and, you know, here's the crazy thing. A lot of people some of us feel rant and rave that the El Grande Americano gimmick is being a little stale. I think it was surprisingly him being popular at NXT. That's even the crazier part. And so it is interesting to see how it develops. So, on a video from X, Laying Lee is very upset of how Keilani Jordan conducted herself during the TNA Knockouts title match against former champ Jordynne Grace by waffling her in the head with the belt. And Jordynne Grace took a picture of herself with all the markings on from the belt, and Laying Lee vows that she will bring the title back to TNA and bring honor to it. It seems like to me Keilani Jordan has shown her true colors. Meanwhile, Ren Sinclair was talking to Kendall Gray, Carmen Petrovich, and Tyra May Steele, and about Ren Sinclair looking forward to the women's speed title tournament. As you know, Sol Ruca has vacated that title, and Keilani Jordan interrupts them and says, "You better watch what I have to say." Keilani Jordan comes out, explains her actions. She says she'll do everything by any means necessary, and she's upset the fans booed her and everything else. And I think the fans were booing her because you being too nice. We need a killer instinct. You need a killer instinct, but you waffled. Jordan, your attitude's starting to stink up a little bit there, Keilani Jordan, and that is why, Keilani Jordan, that the fans are booing you. You got kicked out of the NXT women's locker room. You want respect. You want this. You want that. You have to earn that respect. You may have become you may be the TNA Knockouts champion. And she says, "I'm not going to defend my title I'm not going to defend my title at Gold Rush." Never think again, there, sister. So, and then Sarah Schreiber interviewed OTM, saying that we're going to take what we want. And Chase Hughes says, "Hey, we think we've forgotten what you did to us. We're getting sick of it." And then Andre Chase says, "Guys, I got this. Let's go on." And OTM goes, "Fine." And he goes, going after OTM, you guys ever forgotten about what I taught you? You guys are nuts. If you think that's a good idea, I don't know, Andre Chase. I think some people will do anything to get a rise out of people. Then, and then Josh Briggs went up against El Grande Americano with Jasper Troy arriving in the crowd to watch the matchup. But then Tavion Heights, who's got a beef with Josh Briggs, gets involved, and then it distracting the referee. And Rayo and Bravo, Los Americanos, took advantage of the situation, and so did El Grande Americano, and he wins the match. So, and Jasper Troy was looking on. He knows what he's got to expect, so be ready. Then Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray were getting ready, but then Kaylana Jordan interrupts them, and you saw what I had to say, and then we got and Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, we got a matchup. Let's go. And Ava says, I saw what we had to say. Well, I'm the general manager of NXT when I say goes, but I know I'm not the general manager of TNA. And so Ava understands that and acknowledges that. And then Tyra May Steele says, gets upset, confronts Kaylani Jordan, what she had to say. And then Ava goes, why don't you prove, Ava goes, why don't you go one-on-one with Tyra May Steele? And then Kaylani Jordan goes, okay, we'll see who's got it, and I'm gonna make sure that she says I'm gonna make you like what you Olympians are not used to is second best, and so there you go. Then Miles Bourne talks to Ricky Saints as he gets ready for his interview, by Vic Joseph and Booker T. They both interview Ricky Saints, Trick Williams. Saints and Williams exchange words back and forth, but then they say, we don't have to wait till next week. We'll do it right now. They come out. They start brawling until Williams hits him in the stomach with a pipe, and security trying to separate these two. He goes, I'll get my title back. Let's talk about it. And throws the title down. And and medical team ends up checking up on Ricky Saints. Hopefully he's ready to go. And Women's Speed Title Tournament first round, as Ren Sinclair went up against Zarya, and Zarya ended up winning the matchup with 30 seconds left on the clock. Now, these relative speed matches are 3 minutes. The championship match were 5. And that means Zarya will face the winner of Fallon Henley and Skylar Ray. Skylar Ray is the newcomer to NXT after winning LFG Season 2, being part of Team Undertaker, and they will take each other on next week. And winner of that will face Zarya in the Women's Speed Championship Tournament Final. As you know, Soruka had relinquished for injury. So, and then in a non-title matchup, Tyra May Steele took on Kaylani Jordan. The TNA Knockouts champion, Kaylani Jordan, ended up winning the matchup. But then Santino Marella addresses her after the match and said, hey, at Gold Rush, you'll be defending that title in a triple threat against Jordan Grace and Lei Ying Lee. Kaylani Jordan not happy about it. Well, Santino Marella heard what she had to say, and I'll tell you one thing. I like Santino Marella. Awesome job, Santino. Jordan Grace and Lady Lee, Lei Ying Lee. Somebody teach that boy how to pronounce. But anyways, I love it. And so Rooker and Zarya talking with Ava, and then the doctor said if I'm going to get him, I want to, and she goes, you got a month left, but I'm concerned. But listen, if I'm cleared and ready to go, I want to get my rematch. And then Zarya goes, this is perfect. She comes back Women's North American champ. I'll be Women's Speed champion. And then Ava's like, and then Fatal Influence goes, I want my rematch against Tatum Paxley at Gold Rush. And Ava goes, well, we'll see what happens there. And meanwhile, he says, I got to talk to Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce to see which from NXT will be part of the Last Time Is Now tournament. The face John Cena, so all y'all need to get out. So And then Sol Ruca went, doo 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 doo. This, I'm like, oh boy. Somebody's a John Cena fan. Anyways. So Javon Evans took on Saquon Sugars. As you know, the rest of Dark State, that would be Cutler James, Osiris Griffin, Deion Lanks, the tag team champs, get involved during the matchup, but in the end, it was Javon Evans to win the matchup. And Abel was talking to Blake Monroe, and then he goes, I want my first defense in New York to be glamorous. And so, well, I talked with Sol Ruca, and if she's cleared, she'll be your first opponent, and go rush, whatever, you know. So there's that. Then the Culling were trying to help Tatum Paxley. Izzy Dane gave her some advice. He goes, you know what? Thank you so much. But you know, I got one more thing I need to do to get satisfied. I'm going to address it next week. And they're like, Tatum, what's going on? Guys, there's Gold Rush coming up. You know? Then they had the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship celebration with Ethan Page and Chelsea Green, the new champs, and unseating the former champs, La Hydra and Mr. Iguana, which are now Splitsville. Mr. Iguana, you've been a bad boy. You're trying to flirt with Lola Vice, but then you got Hottie and La Hydra despite the mask. And let me tell you something, man. I don't know. I mean, that'll be a position that just I will not be into. If I'm flirting with Lola Vice, I get smacked upside the head by La Hydra. Come on, La Hydra. And so we wish. And then Chelsea Green wants to say Joe Hendry's name. Oh, let's say his name. He'll appear. Like, and you know what? You know, he thinks in the cake. And so they got the sticks ready. And you know what? Alpha Fire, say his name. Joe Hendry. And then Joe Hendry shows up. And he's walking towards the ring and goes, you know what? Gold Rush, I do want a title shot, but it'll be for the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions. And Chelsea Green goes, there's two of us and one of you. Well, all I got to do, if I was going to keep it secret till Gold Rush, but all I got to do is say her name. And then they go, say her name, and she appears. I believe in Thea. And Thea helps outside the cake, starts, and then grabs a couple of whipped cream pies, pie face Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, and then Ethan Page and Joe Hendry fought, and Joe Hendry dropped him, and then Thea Hale handed him a pie and smacked Ethan Page in the face. And Thea Hale is just like Joe Hendry. Gotta love it. Thea Hale and Joe Hendry, that's an entertaining team. So, and that ends episode 265 on NXT. Well, that is it for today's episode. And tomorrow, we got the one-arm, the pull on the one-arm bandit for the Joker's Wild. We got WWE Evolve. And we got WWE and AEW Dynamite. As we're getting ready. 1 week away from Blood and Guts. We're going to have a lot of fun there. As you know, AEW Dynamite, the women's tag team title tournament, continues. As the TBS champion Mercedes Moné teams up with the Ring of Honor women's world champ Athena to go up against the Babes of Wrath. That will be Miss Willow Nightingale and the lovely, gorgeous, and totally hot and funny and sexy Harley Cameron. So that is tomorrow. Gonna upload this video, gonna do the thing, and call it a night. So I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and Do It for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.